Hey, welcome back to the Chefpreneur podcast. On today's episode, I'm going to be diving right in to how to find and the fastest way to find your first client. Okay, so I've taught on this so much, I feel like I can turn blue in the face with actually repeating this so much, but it's really important for you guys to understand this tactic. And I don't care if you've had a personal chef business now for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, or if you're wanting to barely start and you haven't started yet, or you just started. This literal tactic I'm going to teach you on today's episode is literally how I built my business to do over $750,000 last year, and we're on track to probably hit $1 million this year. And I built my entire personal chef business with what I'm going to teach you today. So I want you to really put your ear to the speaker. I want you to dive into this. I want you to take notes. I want to make sure that you get as much out of this episode as possible, because I guarantee you, if you literally follow what I'm going to teach you today on this podcast, it's very valuable. You're going to be able to find your first client. And honestly, you don't have to have a website. You don't even have to have a business page. You don't have to have any of it if you follow what I say. However, those things will help, but it's not necessary. So I'm going to dive in. I'm going to talk to you guys about what many of you guys maybe think is the fastest way to find clients. Now, a lot of people have come up to me and said, Chef, I get a lot of my business on social media. Now, social media is a great tool, and there is a way to get clients from social media, but in my opinion, it's not the fastest way. Let me tell you a couple reasons why. Number one, you have to spend, I feel like, tons of hours posting and creating content. Again, those things are great. And in fact, we had Jordan on our podcast, Jordan Mendoza, who's an amazing social media expert. And he gave us some actual tactical ways to post, because there is a right and a wrong way to post. But many of you guys are thinking, listen to this podcast, like, well, Chef, I just have to keep producing content all the time, putting out more and more and more content. And honestly, that gets exhausting. That's really exhausting. And honestly, if you want to have some level of life and be able to have time to actually serve your clients, you don't have to post 17 million times a day, right? You don't have to be an influencer on Instagram or TikTok. Although those things can bring in leads, I'm not saying they can't. I don't believe they're the fastest way to grow your business. And I will probably turn blue in the face from speaking this for the rest of my life. Again, what I'm going to teach you today is the fastest way, I believe. Again, this is just my opinion and what I've seen work for my business, as well as hundreds of the students that I've mentored. The fastest way to find your first client is through strategic partnerships. Now I'm going to break down what this is, because really it's not a concept that is new. This referrals and partnerships and things like that have been around for a long time, but I'm going to break it down piece by piece in this episode to really have you guys understand how to actually take full advantage and maximize the potential of getting your first client, honestly, getting more and more clients and building up your business very quickly. Okay, so again, it's not social media. And again, let's talk about your website. A website is important, right? It's like a billboard in the world for your business. Because you're a personal chef, you don't have a local brick and mortar store, right? So your business is online, and a website is basically like a billboard for your business, or it's like a storefront, right? So a website is important, but it's not necessary to find your first client, okay? So I want to repeat that. Like, if you're thinking, oh, Chef, I can't use this tactic because I don't have a website yet, you know what? Use this tactic to find your first client, and then buy or hire someone to build you a website, right? Because that's how it all works. And so what I'm going to teach you, again, it's not about social media base. It's not about building a website. It's not about building a Facebook page. Not about, again, countless hours on social media, being what I call social media monkey, where you're out here and you're just kind of putting on a show with tons of content all the time. It's very, very dialed in and very focused on strategic partnerships. So let's dive right into what that means. Simple terms and a simple definition of what a strategic partner is. And again, take notes. If you want this content to really last in your mind, and really if you want to execute on it, take out a piece of paper, take out a pencil, whatever you got to do, write this down, because I really want to take action on this. I guarantee you, if you take action on this, you're going to get a level of result. So a strategic partnership, in definition, really simply is where two companies or two entities or however you want to call it, two companies come together and they have a mutual benefit of working together. Now, I want to clearly define that strategic partnerships are not where you're giving 20% of your business to another company, right? That's not what I'm talking about. Strategic partnerships is strategically you're partnered because you have both a mutual benefit involved, when you're sharing kind of your client database or your client list or however you want to call it. So there's basically benefit as a triangle, not to confuse you, but there's benefit as a triangle to say it benefits the strategic partnership that you're partnering with, it benefits you, and it benefits the client. Okay, and I'm going to give you some examples of this. So let's talk about what strategic partnerships are out there. I'm going to use, for the mode of this podcast, I'm going to use the example of, let's say you're a chef who specializes in doing meal preparation for people who are on a keto diet. Okay, so let's just use that example because it makes it very easy and very clear. And I want to make sure I get the point across today. So let's say that you start your personal chef business. You've lost, 50 pounds on the keto diet yourself. You've been inspired. You want to help people lose weight. You want to help them get healthier. So what you do is you started a personal chef business based upon the keto diet. And you say, chef, I want to help people that are wanting to lose weight, but they don't have the time to prepare the meals. They might not know how to make keto food taste good. I want to be the chef that comes in to serve them and actually bring them those meals, right? And go to their house, prep up the meals, and set them up for the whole week. So all they have to do is pull out these meals out of the fridge and reheat them. So here's the thing. You're going to say, chef, where do I find clients? Because honestly, the number one question I get asked, not only through this podcast, but through my trainings in our Facebook group, is how do I find clients? Now, here's the deal. If I was a chef and I was wanting to specialize in keto-friendly food and do meal preparation or even do, higher, more private events as well, but I wanted to stick in that niche of offering keto-friendly meals, here's a potential partnership. And I'm going to give you an example of who to go with. You're going to reach out to all the dietitians, the nutritionists, anybody in the area. It could be holistic doctors or doctors that really promote the keto-friendly diet. Okay, now think about it this way. You don't have to have a website. You don't have to Facebook page to do this. This is literally, you have to have a phone and you have to have just put in the time. That's all you need to actually take advantage of this tactic. So let's say you're this chef and you're saying, chef, I want to find my first client. I don't have my website. I've posted a little bit on social media, but honestly, I got, I'm a father, or I'm a mother of 3 children or 4 children, or maybe you're like me and you have 5 beautiful daughters and you're overwhelmed. You're like, I don't have time for content on social media all day and trying to DM people. And I'm going to, again, give you straight to the point. So what I want you to do is I want you to then get on Google and you're going to search. So let's use an example of, let's say you're a chef and you're in, Boston, Massachusetts. Okay. So you're a chef specializing again in keto-friendly food in Boston, Massachusetts. So you're going to get on Google. You're going to type in dietitians or keto dietitians, Boston, Mass, or keto nutritionist, Boston, Mass. And all you're going to do is you're going to be looking for different people that you could potentially reach out to offer your services to them. Now, here's the thing. You might be saying, well, chef, I want to get hired by their clients, right? Not by them. Correct. You're not wanting to get hired by the dietitian and nutritionist. What you're wanting to do is you're wanting to partner with them so you can tap into their client list. Because think about it. If a dietitian is already recommending people to get on a keto diet, one of the biggest pain points that dietitian probably has is, well, we're not getting enough results because John Doe, you're not following the meal plan I gave you, right? And John Doe is going to say, which is the potential client that you're going to potentially serve, he's thinking, or he's saying to the doctor or the dietitian, he's saying, I don't have the time for this. Like, I have a full-time job. I'm a father or whatever, or again, maybe it's a mother. And again, all these things are getting in the way. So she or he is telling the dietitian, I don't have time to prepare these meals. So I'm trying my best to cook, the meals that with the meal plan you gave me, but I don't have the time. This is where, when you partner with a dietitian, you can call them and say, hey, doctor, whatever, so-and-so. And you can say, hey, I'm Andres Hinojosa. I'm a personal chef who specializes in keto-friendly food and keto-friendly diets. I was looking at your website and I was really intrigued and really amazed on the results that you've gotten for your clients. And I just wanted to reach out to you. I know I'm calling you out of the blue, but realistically, I wanted to just let you know, right, that I offer these services. And I was thinking to myself, I bet you have an issue with maybe some of your clients not following the meal plans that you're giving them to give them the maximum success level that you want them to have in losing weight. Am I correct on that? right? And the dietitian's probably going to say, oh my gosh, it's something I deal with every single day, right? Like I get them to get weight loss because they're on this like half keto, but then they're not fully taking advantage of my meal plan, and they're not getting the micro and the macronutrients because they're not sticking in the meal plan. And that's where you say, well, you know what? I'm here to help you. I would love to strategically partner with you. And I could even come do a tasting for you so you can experience my services, right? Experience my keto friendly food. I personally lost 50 pounds or whatever, because most of you, if you're listening to this podcast and you happen to really have a passion for keto friendly food as a personal chef, it's probably because you lost weight yourself on it, right? Like it's probably because it changed your life in some way. So you're probably going to have your own testimonial and tell the dietitian, well, I really kind of dialed in a really, really yummy keto-friendly food that I loved, and I lost 50 pounds in 7 months. And the dietitian will be like, wow, I'm really impressed, right? But you're there to serve the dietitian. You're saying, listen, if we partner together and you give a meal plan to a client of yours that you're working with, and they have special needs, maybe they have allergies, there are all these different things, and you say, hey, I have a personal chef, Chef Andres, who I work with, who specializes in keto-friendly food, meal preparation. Would you like their contact information? Can I connect you to maybe execute this plan? This way, you can have the chef prepare the meals in your home. You can just, all you have to do is reheat them. Now, think about, it's a triangle of that win-win-win I just talked about, right? The dietitian is going to get more success for his clients or her clients. The client is going to lose weight, which is what they want to do. And then you are going to have the business and assisting and helping them, which you're passionate about helping people lose weight as well. So it's a triangular win. And anytime there's a triangular win, this is the magic. This is the secret sauce. I built my business. Now, I don't specialize in keto-friendly food myself. My business is specializing more in that personal private event services for special occasions, anniversaries, birthdays, even weddings, bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, so forth and so on. So what I did was I partnered with a lot of vacation rental companies in San Diego. And as I started to partner with them, what happened? Well, when someone's renting a $3,000 a night mansion in La Jolla, there's no restaurant downstairs like a hotel, right? They need services. And so what the vacation villa rental companies would do is offer them to say, hey, we work with an amazing personal chef company called Dinner with a Chef. Would you be interested in personal chef services? And they're like, oh my God, that's a great idea. We actually came all the way from New York to celebrate my dad's birthday for the week. Well, perfect. So what happens? They put me in contact with the client. And because a trusted authority, the company they just booked a $3,000 a night home with is now recommending a personal chef company, which who happens to be me. There's instant authority and trust there. They don't have to sit there and just necessarily look at my reviews. They're probably going to trust them, right? Like just as if you go to the Ritz-Carlton and you're checking in and you're like, hey, could you recommend a good steakhouse around here, right? And the Ritz-Carlton says, you know what? There's 1-2 blocks down. It's called Cut Above Steak or whatever. I'm making this stuff up. But probably you're going to trust the steakhouse that the Ritz-Carlton is recommending you. Why? Because the Ritz-Carlton has authority. They have trust. They're a major brand. They're a luxury brand. They have high standards. So they're probably not going to recommend a restaurant that's going to be a dud, right? They're probably going to recommend a restaurant that's good. Well, when you also partner with these companies, you have to understand that you're not only tapping into their client base, you're tapping into their authority and their trust. Because this dietitian that this, kind of personal chef example I'm telling you about, this dietitian could have been in business for 25 plus years. And he or she has created a beautiful brand image and has actual credibility for 25 years to be a good dietitian where he's delivering real results for clients. So when a client is coming to him, they're not going to sit there and go try to find a chef on their own. If the doc or the dietitian is telling them and recommending them a specific chef, which could be you, they're going to much more higher. They're going to 95% of the time, they're going to go with you because they're not going to have to do brain work on, is this chef good? Right? Especially if you've done a tasting for the dietitian's bought in and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you for calling me. I can't wait to send you business. Let's help get these clients to get to their weight goals together. It's a beautiful, synergized type of partnership. And again, here's what I want to tell you. You're one person, right? You're one chef, especially if you're just starting out. Again, you might not even have a website. You might barely have a social media profile, right? But here's the one thing you do have. You have skills, you have talents. You have the passion to serve people like we talked about in different episodes of this podcast. So what you want to do is you want to piggyback off of a company or someone else who has been in business for a long time and has a myriad of clients. It's your fastest way to get, instead of trying to fish one client by one client in this big lake, you're going over there with the captain where there's all the fish congregate, where the captain knows where to fish. And you're just saying, hey, can I throw my rod in next to yours? And now you're catching fish all day. So it's way better use of your time to chase down strategic partnerships as opposed to trying to find individual clients to book you. Because once you have a partnership, what happens is as they start to refer you more and more, guess what? Your business will start to grow. And then the people that are hiring you through your strategic partnership will start to recommend you. And they'll start to refer you to other friends of theirs who are maybe want to lose weight or wanting to do a birthday or an anniversary. And then your business starts to grow laterally and horizontally. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, 6 months later, like, oh my gosh, I've done my first $10,000 a month. This is literally how I built my entire business. I have partnerships to this day in Dinner with a Chef that have literally last year given us over $200,000 worth of business with one partnership. So you have to understand the power of partnershiping and strategic partnershiping. I teach this till I'm blue in the face because it's the fastest way to get not only your first client, but honestly, the fastest way to grow your business. And then once you build a website, once you start moving forward, once you start getting all those things dialed in, because again, it is important to have a website. I just used the word it's not necessary to find your first client. But eventually, as you build your business, you want a website, you want branding, you want to be on social media, and then it just expedites the process. See, then it's like, I've already started the fire is going, now I'm going to pour gasoline on the fire. And this is, again, the fastest way to find your first client, in my opinion, and what it's been proven in my programs and systems. So if you take this, what you've learned on this podcast today, and you actually apply it, I can probably guarantee you're going to get some level of result. And if you score at least one tasting and you show that client, that potential partnership, what you do and what you offer, and they fall in love with you, it's a done deal. They will refer you to every client they know, and your business will be off and running before you know it. Hey, I hope you found this podcast valuable. I've never really asked this before, but if you're listening on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, if there's an ability to review this podcast, right? I don't care if it's a comment on YouTube or if it's on iTunes. I just want other people to know about this podcast. So share this podcast with other people that are looking to start a personal chef business. I love bringing you guys content every week. And honestly, I hope it's really added value to you. And again, I'm not just on here just blowing fluff up your butt. Like, we literally have proven systems and programs that we've helped hundreds of chefs go through to really start their own business, their personal chef business, and really get success. If you're interested in just learning about our programs, head over to chefpreneur.com. Make sure you hit up our website. And honestly, I hope that you guys keep tuning into this podcast and is delivering value to your life. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you guys next week.